This is India's one and only M140i. And let me tell you, this is too much fun! .8 TSI swap, this 2-liter TSI swap, that, Haldex here, Haldex there, enough wags. Today we're talking about something different, time to level up. What might seem like a random 1 series with an M Sport kit is actually a massive upgrade and something that has never been seen in the country before. Ladies and gentlemen, this is essentially a BMW M140i, and that means it has a B58 in it in a 1 series. Yeah, let's get straight into it and talk about what is inside the engine. This is a Gen 1 B58 that was available in the 740Li. This has never come to India in the M340i because the M340i that came to India came with the Gen 2 B58, which had a different compression, a different turbo, injector timing, and also it had a different high pressure fuel pump. This engine itself in this car has a lot of mods. It's pretty much on a base map right now, but it is stage 2 plus ready, and that mod list is really long. Listen to this. Laser iridium plugs from NGK, a 600 watt radiator cooling fan, auxiliary radiator hot climate version, hot climate mod, an AirTech downpipe, Masata front strut braces, aluminium charge pipes, aluminium turbo inlets, Osprey Performance, turbo heat shield, AirTech coal air intake, AirTech charge air cooler radiator, Remus full catback exhaust with an OEM valve, original BMW F21 rear underbody brace, MMR fast road suspension, which is shocks and springs, BMW 2VL variable sports steering rack retrofit, a sports gear shifter retrofit, HNR anti-roll bars front and rear, Japan Racing SL02 18-inch staggered wheels, Powerflex rear subframe and diff inserts and bushing, interior mirror with dimming retro function, high beam assist retrofit, original TPS system retrofit, 6WA black instrument. As we've seen, Bavarian Technique has done a very good job at replicating the M140i. Very good job? No, he has replicated the M140i, and it is the same case in the outside too. There is a new bumper, new rear bumper. He has ordered a new running board for it, so it has the complete M Sport kit on the outside. And as you can see from the side profile, one thing that I really love about the 1 series is that clown shoe style design, and with the new bumper and the rear diffuser, the F1 style diffuser, it all just plays in very well to make it look like a very hot hatch, and that's exactly what it is. Overall, this car looks absolutely fantastic, especially with those Japan Racing SL02 wheels. All in all, this is an M140i inside and out. But what if you want an M140i and you already have a 1 series? Let's talk about price. Now, before I get to talk about how this car is to actually drive, I want to tell you about Bavarian Technique. This guy is like the Yoda of BMWs in India. You've seen the Stage 3 530D, that was his old car. This is his own personal car and it has the works. This is essentially a 118D completely turned into an M140i, something that has never been done in India, and the results are intense. The way this Gen 1 B58 pushes is fantastic. The stock powers, which is what this car is running on, is around 340 bhp claimed by BMW, but we know BMW, they have always underestimated that figure, so it's pushing maybe a little bit more, 350, 360 bhp. And let me tell you, in something that is less than 1.5 tons, that's a lot already. But that's not where this car is going to stop. This is stage 2 plus ready, and that means this is going to be pushing 400 to 500 bhp easily on stock internals. And even if you go for upgraded turbo, this car will be doing 600, 700 bhp just with ease. Talking about the gearbox, this runs the same 118D LCI ZF8 HP gearbox, and it's super smooth. Plus, the good thing about it is that it's capable of handling lots and lots of torque. So even if you go crazy on this car and push 800, 900 Newton meters of torque, it will be pretty okay with it. When it comes to the brakes, the M140i has a pretty peculiar setup. It has a larger set in the rear with 345 mm discs at the back with a 2-piston caliper, and the front has a 4-piston setup with 340 mm brakes. But the way it brakes, it's very reassuring. The pedal feel still isn't bitey as hell, even though it has a set of steel braided lines. It's still progressive, and it still has that BMW peak towards the end of the pedals drive. Throwing it around, especially on a highway like this, it's very planted thanks to all of the underbody braces and reinforcement that has happened underneath. So yes, this is a very capable car, but with that open diff in the back, pushing it can be a little scary. So if you actually really send this car in the corners, you're going to need quite a lot of experience, because this is a car that will not forgive. It has an open diff rear wheel drive, and it's a really short wheelbase. So this is not going to be as reinforcing to drive as a new A45 AMG with the full 4MATIC system or an all-wheel drive system. Time to talk about how this engine really feels. Stamp on the throttle and the torque really surges in through the mid-range. So it has a very linear push to it, but then you add that to how light this car is and how small it is, it translates to a very, very fast car. So even when the surge is just happening, you are already on the move, and that is a very exhilarating experience. So what does it take to turn your 118D or 116i into an M140i? Well, quite a lot of money, to be honest, because you need a huge list of parts, as I've mentioned before. This complete car with just parts would cost you around 40-ish lakhs, including the car as well. That does not include the amount of labor that you will have to incur, because let's be honest, putting an engine in and completely changing the variant of a car is not as simple as you would imagine. There are a lot of things that you wouldn't even think of, like the software or even the way it drives, because if you just plonk an engine, it's going to drive, but it's going to give you a very janky feel, and it's going to have that race car droney vibe. So you're not going to be really enjoying it every day. This though is a car that I can drive to work and back. So this is much more impressive, and it takes so much more effort in terms of research and development, studying, preparing, and then getting your hands onto the car and then figuring out more problems. So this is an extensive effort, but it is just so worth it, because the moment you just put 2 gears down, all of that money is just forgotten about. This is something like a breath of fresh air after so many WAG builds and other engine swaps that were just janky. This is a complete build and a car that would have actually come from factory, from BMW, from Germany. So I am very impressed and I really love this car. I can't wait to see more people do something this crazy. Thank you so much Bavarian Technique for letting me drive your car. You've been an absolute G the whole trip. And yeah, if you guys want to check them out, check him out on Instagram. He does some crazy stuff for BMWs. And yeah, do let us know your thoughts on this M140i, and I'll see you guys in the next one.